Hello everyone and welcome to my bullet journal for work recap. So I just wanted to catch you up on how it worked for me as I used these multiple notebooks for multiple projects for my work bullet journal system. So if you haven't seen my original bullet journal for work video, I will link that below so you can see how I set these up and why. So this was my little Moleskine chapter book, which I use for job-specific notes and sketches. So I just wanted to flip through and just show you how it's set up. It's not I don't have a structured template of how I use each page. It's just whatever I need for that day or project. And if a meeting comes up, I take notes and I use this notebook for that, as well as sketches, as you can see. So that's one side for one project, and then I flip the book over, and then I'm using it now for second and third projects that I was working on the same year. So I added washi tape to the front to help label the front and the back, and then I just again use these pages for job specific notes, scheduling, contact information, as you can see, as well as a lot of meeting notes and progress made for this particular project, as well as sketches, which I had a little fun here sketching isometrics and things that I was working out for this particular project. So it was nice to have it all in one place. And some of these items were duplicated in my main bullet journal, but I transferred them over, the important ones, into this particular notebook that I may need to refer to again in the future. So with those projects and that I finished, I'm just showing you here there are a few pages in between left, not very many, and so when I finish the project I may only have a couple pages left, and that will finish this chapter book, and then I'll start a new one when I start a new project in 2017. So here's my second little chapter book. This is one that I use to maintain my database and libraries that I maintain for work as well, so that I keep it organized and everything together. So that worked well for me. As you can see, I added more information here from my first video, and so this is working well, having this separate notebook for this particular task to keep it all together and organized. And I have a lot more pages left to go, so that's going to stay with me for next year. So now this is my main bullet journal. As you can see, I don't use an index. This little tracker and this goal thing I wanted to keep up, but I fell off, so I won't be continuing with that. But I did like that monthly spread, just the list of the days to mark important dates for the month. And I'm just going to flip through really quick just to show you how just my notebook looks. It's not a standard, like I mentioned before, I don't have a standard template or way that I use it to set up my dailies and so forth, or weekly spreads, anything like that. It really is just taking notes for the day with quick little to-do lists or sketches or meeting notes, whatever it may be. Very down and dirty, strictly for work use. So you can see there's no rhyme or reason. I did number the pages, but again, I don't have an index, so once I stopped or I ran out of the numbers, I just stopped numbering the pages. I did keep the monthly view there because that's what worked for me. And then I started to, near the end, incorporate some of my son's school work in here, dates that he had projects due. When I had a parent-teacher conference with his teacher, I took notes in this book. So then I started to merge some of my personal things, not just work-related things, into this notebook. So I think that's going to be one change I do in 2017, is I'm going to start incorporating some of my kids' school stuff in here, because I needed a place to put that data and I didn't have anywhere besides this notebook. So I'm going to start adding that in just for appointments or when they have projects due and so forth, things like that. So now I just wanted to, as I'm getting to the end here of my flip through, well, yes, as I'm getting towards the end of this flip through, I wanted to show you that too, for 2017, I'm going to get back to the down and dirty planning parts of the bullet journal, of being able to mark dates and important events by merging tasks over that I did not complete. So one other thing I also had to accommodate for was I started to get a new weekly meeting that I had to start attending, which started here in November. So I folded that page over, and then I added this little washi tape on the edge of the page for all those notes that relate to that meeting, because it's a reoccurring meeting that's going to happen every week. So that's my little way of accommodating not having an index. So I just added the washi tape to the edge of any page that had notes related to that meeting. And then I decided to go back to this weekly spread type of planner setup because, again, I had a due date on December 2nd. As you can see, there's a submittal date, and I had nowhere to put that as a way to remind myself of it's coming up. So I just gave that a try for that week, and then I just thought I'd give it a fair trial and go a couple weeks doing that weekly spread. So I set up these spreads at home on Sundays, so that's why this particular page is a little more pretty. I used my stamps and colored pencils and things like that because I had them available, and I set them up at home, not during work. So again, just trying to give it a fair try of, if I had this weekly spread, how would I use it? And then here I'm pointing to a date that I had a due date there, 12/19. I had nowhere to write that. I had no future planning spot, and so that was a due date that got missed. So you can see here's another week, and I just put to-do lists and so forth, but that deadline of 12/19 is nowhere to be seen. I completely forgot about it. I turned the page and it was lost. So that's where I saw I failed with this system, and that was just me personally not having anything to mark. You see my Monday, December 19th, I didn't mark anything there for a deadline. I had a deliverable I was supposed to deliver on that date, and I'd have to flip back, as you can see here, like 4 pages to get back to that. So that's where I wanted to change and use the bullet journal system the way it was intended and migrate tasks and so forth. So here I just was having fun because I had time off of work. I decided to use the bullet journal more for personal use, so I just thought I'd start listing things I wanted to do during my time off for home. I set up my week. Even though I'm going to be home that week, I wasn't working, I took that week off. I thought I'd make a quick little weekly spread just for fun. And then here's my 2017. Just to break up the monotony, I added some pretty paper. And this is going to be my little future log for 3 months, only because 2 reasons. I don't plan that far in advance at work. And then 2, I only have this few pages left, which may not take me beyond March. And so here I just made a little calendar. This isn't going to be a calendar, it's just my little tracker for my daily Bible reading goal. I wanted to have a place to stamp to mark that I read it. And then I just glued in a piece of paper because of the bleed through from my stamping. So that's a few changes I'm going to be making, and I'll give you another recap as we get further into 2017. And here I just wanted to show you the 2 pens that I'm going to be using only. This is a Pilot Hi-Tech C 0.28 or 0.3 and the Signal Uniball 0.28. And these write so nicely and thin lines, and they do not bleed through at all. So those are going to be the only 2 pens I use in this Moleskine bullet journal for work. So I hope this was inspiring for you. Thank you for sticking with me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!